Hello, and welcome back to Satisfactory, where in the last episode, we started to dive into steel with this mini steel factory. We started to dive into Caterium and sulfur with some mini factories that we got up there, and we explored a huge new portion of the map. I mean, look how much we've made. Previously, we just had this tiny portion, now we've gotten all the way out to over here. In today's episode, what I really want to do is create a nice big modular frame factory using some of these nodes that we found up there last episode. I want to make a big modular frame factory so that as we move into the remainder of tiers 3 and 4 of our hub, we don't have to worry about modular frames anymore. Right now, let's just take the zip line that we got last episode. Oh, this is still so much fun. Let's take the zip line right up to the top and explore those nodes. Now up here, we've got a pure iron node, a pure iron node, a third pure iron node, and a fourth pure iron node. Man, this place is just crazy. All right, I think I want to start to build a foundational platform for this new factory. I'm gonna carry it on over above this roadway just to make sure that we have enough vertical clearance for what we might end up doing with trucks. Oh yeah, that's more than enough space to avoid the trucks. We can even possibly build another ramp that goes up there from down here. Oh yeah, that's more like it. Look at this is starting to feel like a skate park. All the different layers coming together. Oh, I love it so much. It's so gravity-defying, unrealistic, and I love it. Alright, modular frames are not particularly hard to craft. We only need reinforced iron plates and a bunch of rods for it. Reinforced iron plates require plates and screws, so everything to create modular frames is iron-based. I think what we want to do is aim to get 10 modular frames per minute. So we're going to need 5 of these, so 5 times all these ingredients, and that should get us to a nice clean set of inputs. And in order to do that, we are going to need the following ingredients so that we can start to build our factory. Let's take our brand new zip line. Again, I'm still not over this. Let's take our brand new zip line right back to home base. And I'm back at our upcoming factory with a whole bunch of ingredients in hand. We're ready to start building. I'm already prepared to say that we're going to need at least 12 constructors in a row. So I'm going to just set those up so that they're well in line right about here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 10, 11, 12. Oh, did I tell you this is going to be a big factory or what? This is going to be a big factory. No doubt about it. 7 of these are going to be for straight up iron rods. 1, 6, 7. And then the remaining 5 are going to be for iron plates. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. With the 5th one being set to 50% capacity so that it splits off perfectly with 120 per minute. Now we're going to manifold all of these guys because this side is all equal to 120 per minute. 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, and 120 coming on in. Same thing on the other side. These 4 plate constructors are going to equal 120 per minute coming in. Now each of these 2 sides is going to get 4 smelters, which I want to line up with these. So let's place down the mergers first, actually. I'm paying very careful attention to the arrows on each of these as I'm placing them down. Making sure that the diagonal lines, as you can see kind of flickering in the bottom there, are lined, so that it's lined up with everything. But also that the arrows for output are aligned. Because if the arrows are misaligned, then I'm going to have to replace every single one of them because they won't be going the right way. Thankfully, I placed all of those in the right direction. So now we just place down our smelters, which I'm going to do in line with each of these. And I'll move it pretty close up. Yeah, right about there. And for each of these, I'm again just going to keep them in line, clean factory. Again, paying attention to the dash lines wherever I can see them. Connect each one of these up with mark 1s. Now we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to manifold all of these together, but this time we're going to have the inputs coming from that side because that's where our ores are. Oh, I can hardly see. I'll just cut to it being done so that hopefully you don't have to bear through the darkness of this nighttime. Okay, it's still a fair bit dark, but if I head on over to this side, it becomes a little bit brighter. I'm not sure why when I head deeper into the valley it gets darker, but such is the way it is. I've connected up our 2 miners from our 2 nodes down into these 2 individual belts. If I head on over here, you can kind of see a separation down the middle, where on each side of this we have 120 iron per minute coming in and feeding out the smelters. Because we are currently limited to conveyor belt mark 2, we haven't unlocked conveyor belt mark 3 yet, which takes us over 120. So these 2 sides both do 120 going into the smelters, 120 coming out of the smelters, and then 120 fed into their respective constructors. Now, after this row of constructors is where things begin to get spicy. We're gonna have to do a 5-into-3 merger and splitter setup, where these 5 iron plate constructors feed into 3 reinforced iron plate assemblers. Then these iron rods are gonna end up getting split, some of them into screws and some of them directly into the modular frame construction. Screws are also gonna feed in to the reinforced iron plate assemblers. First things first, let's build our screw constructors. I'm going to do those more in the center so that they're closer to the side where the iron plates will be fed into the reinforced iron plate constructors. There's our plates, there's our 5th plates, and here's where we start moving into rods. So screws are going to take 10 rods per minute, these are 15. So we're going to take 3 of these, merge them all up. Per the feedback of someone on one of my previous episodes, I'm going to use a manifold to merge these up so that I don't have to deal with any kind of crazy splitter logic and any of that. And then I'm going to just distribute them somewhat normally using 5 constructors all set in a line. We're going to have at least, I know we're going to have at least 1 splitter where the input comes in right there. And I think I want to keep this about as tight as I can get it, because this is kind of an accessory component to the factory that none of the other parts will be using. So let's make sure I'm properly lined up and send this right into this next row of tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one, for the 5th set of screws is only producing 20 per minute. All of the other 4 are producing a full 40 per minute. This means that we're going to be inputting 40 in these, plus an extra 5 for the half one, so 45, which is the perfect amount for 3 of our rod constructors. Look at these diagonal lines. This is how we know that we're building a factory to perfect, absolutely perfect fix-it standard. All 5 manifolded away. All of these can be Mark 1, which is going to save us some valuable resources, because nothing going into this is over the 60 per minute that Mark 1 belts can handle. But coming out of it, we're going to have a lot more than Mark 1 belts can handle. So we're going to have to do some fun stuff coming out of that to feed into our reinforced iron plate assemblers. Each of these screw plants is doing 40 per minute, which means that we're really going to want 1.5 for each of them. So these 2 we're set for. This one we're going to want to split off into 2. Let's have this output just come here and split into 2. And then we're going to have 3 different rows of mergers right here so that we keep our lines separate. We'll have 1 merger right here. All of them will feed out towards me. We'll have 1 row right next to that, and then a 3rd one right here. I'm placing down these mergers even though they're not fully necessary, just so that I can keep my alignment as I want it to be. These are again all going to be in the 60s range. Then I'm going to have a merger right here, and if I can draw the tiny little belt between those, we should be good to go. And then I can feed this into here on straight mode. And then similarly for this third one, we're going to have a merger still in line with it there, fairly far back, but this will do for us. And then we can feed this into here, also in straight mode. And now each of these 3 lines will be taking out 60 screws per minute. Clean and easy. Now we want each of our reinforced iron plate assemblers to have 30 iron plates per minute. So we're going to do the same thing as we just did over there, where this one gets split into 2 separate outputs, and these 2 get coupled together. Now each of these will be getting 30 out. So we have 30 plates and 60 screws, and now we just got to connect up each of these lines into individual assemblers for reinforced iron plates. Question is, how do we do this cleanly? Honestly, I don't have a good answer for that. I don't have a good answer for that. Okay, and this is the solution that I came up with. If you can see what I'm doing here, I'm taking these individual belts that we have for the screws and I'm running them around the corner, positioning them right next to each of the plate output lines so that we can have assemblers that are perfectly in line with each of them. That said, I did just notice a conflict on that one right there. If those 2 output lines are to come out, they'll clash with those belts, so I actually need to swap them all over, but that's all right. We'll make it work. We're making it work. There we go. It's like, it's so fun. Like, it feels so cool building from above like this. I think I might just build our assemblers from up here if I can. I don't know if I'll be able to tell that the alignment is correct doing it from up here, but oh, it just feels so cool. Oh, I can tell. I can. Yes. There's 1 set. There's 2. And I might be clashing with number 3. I am. I'm clashing with number 3. All right, down I go. Relocated my lookout tower. And now let's just pull all these belts right through. Yes, there's going to be some clipping. It's inevitable with how this setup is, unfortunately. It's just what happens. Gotta be okay with that. Actually, I think I want to swap this one as well, which means I'm gonna have to move again. Gosh, dang it. Yeah, I do want to swap this one though, just because that means that we get even spacing between all 3 of these assemblers, since that means that the 2 on the ends are now both swapped. So now we get that good even spacing that we want. Nice. And this is, honestly, despite it clipping a little bit, this isn't too bad. It feels a little bit like a neat and orderly puzzle piece. Well sorted and well organized. Now let's set these to the nice proper reinforced iron plates that we've got our recipe for. And these 15 reinforced iron plates are all going to need to head over here along with these 60 remaining iron rods, because it's 15 from each of these 4. 15 reinforced iron plates and 60 iron rods are going to get split into 5 modular frame assemblers. First, let's merge all of these guys up and feed 4 out towards me. All of these are again under 60, which means that we can just use mark 1, and this is where our 60 are going to come out. And then let's merge all of these 3 up. I don't think it's going to be perfectly... Maybe we can. Maybe we can make it perfectly in line. I actually can get them all aligned. That means that right there is where our rods are coming out. Right here is where our reinforced iron plates are coming out. And now we just need to have the room for 5 assemblers, which we can start with the first one of right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to manifold each of these so that they split off nice and evenly. Input number 1 right there. And then let's have each of these also manifold, but running down the opposite direction. And now we can go machine by machine and connect up each of the inputs from the 2 directions. And we can set all of these to modular frames, which are going to take in 3 reinforced iron plates and 12 rods, where we're feeding it 5 times that, so 15 and 60. Now let's merge all of these together, and then we can merge all of these up into just a couple of storage containers. In this way, I think this game is just so funny. You can spend 5 minutes like we did last episode creating a factory for 100 items per minute, creating so much quick wire from Caterium, or you can spend a full hour creating a factory like this. So many machines, so much effort, all for just 10 modular frames per minute. All of this work is just being fed into these 2 storage containers right here. It's astounding. Well, we got our power carried over. Let's just make sure that everything is properly powered so that we should be good to turn our factory on shortly. All right, I've connected up all the power and I've set the miners to get going. This factory alone, I took a look, is 220 megawatts. Our entire rest of the factory is 440, which means that this factory alone is half of everything else we built this entire series so far. We're gonna have 1.5 times the use. This factory is massive. All this just for 10 modular frames per minute, but it is so much fun and so worth it. Just like we did for the rotors and reinforced iron plate factory, I think I'm gonna let this just sit here for a minute, see how things go, and let the factory get started. So I'll be back with you after this brief startup time lapse. Oh, check out the iron ore in the background and some of the screws coming out right in the foreground. Oh, it's happening.
3, 2, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can tell me why I need your help. 5, 1, 4, 8. 2, 1, 7, 9. You will love me and then break my spine. 4, 5, 7.
Oops, notice a critical error. I did not connect up my reinforced iron plates belt to the factory. Okay, whoops. There we go. Getting rid of our reinforced iron plate buildup that we're having over here. Not that it's very much. It's barely been a couple of minutes, but we're getting there. We're starting to get some iron rods into these. It takes a while to start up because this factory is based entirely on manifolds, where it goes sequentially. It means that the first one has to really build up before any of the last machines reach full capacity. But I just gotta say, just look at this. Just look at this. This is nothing short of beauty right here. Anyway, back to factory startup AFKing. What we're really looking for here is for all of the lights to be consistently green and stay green.
1994. You think I'm great when I am poor. 2, 4, 6, 9, 2, 1, 4, 3. You say I'm your friend, but you aren't my friend. But you aren't my friend. But you
hey, we're not quite at 100% effectiveness yet. I just offloaded some of the stuff from my person so that my inventory is a little bit more empty. I offloaded some of that into this factory just so that we have things running a little bit more smoothly. Because the manifold system, as I mentioned, relies on building up a buffer, we're not at 100% quite yet, but things are running pretty smoothly, and I'm really happy with how this factory has turned out. In that time, as we've been waiting for it to set up, we've already got over 150 modular frames, plus the 43 I have in my inventory. This is going to be a fantastic start as we move into the next phase of the game. Let's just take a moment to admire this beauty. With this factory now made, I think we've made fantastic progress for this episode. In the next episode, we've got some little bits and pieces to pick up here and there just to make sure our factory is up and ready to go as we move into advanced steel production. For advanced steel production, I have possibly the biggest factory that the series has seen. Even bigger than this one, yes. And that'll be a couple episodes away. We got one episode in the middle just to catch up on some tasks, maybe add in trucks, maybe add in some movement to start to get some of these byproducts over from these factories to our main base. Maybe, we'll see. But for now, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed putting together this incredible modular frames factory. Yes, it's 10 per minute, but that's honestly much better than what I had before, and it's just looks and feels so pretty. So thank you all for joining me in this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.